Hare Hare Krishna. Hare Bol, Hare Bol, Hare Bol.
Thank you so much for your service, dear. I try to see her. Is it 41? Yes. Jaya Hare Krishna. Welcome all of you. Nice to see these young devotees here. Also, Gopikita's young, so I speak to everybody. Very nice. Sie ist gekommen, sie kann es für dich übersetzen. Jaya Radha, no. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Bihari. Jaya Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Gopi Vallabha Hari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Nachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Hari Gopi Jana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari Jaya Girivardhari Jana Hari Jaya Girivardhari Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Yashodhananda Vrajana Ranjana Tiravanacharin Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Hare Rama Oh Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Oh Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada. Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagwan ki jai, Nitai ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhagwan ki jai. So, thank you for coming. Thank you for attending this class. Before I do the prayers, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So, Tuesday, it is Ekadashi. It is, I wrote it down, the name, because, yes, Varutini Ekadashi, very auspicious. And before I go to the class, and Varutini Ekadashi. And the meaning of this Ekadashi is, I understand English a little bit? Yes. There. Who not? You understand English? But I knew that some of them were coming, so I don't use very heavy words. Maybe they can. Damayanti, you understand a little bit English? Or on translation? You know, speak English, your language, yeah? Somebody? Julia, maybe you can translate for her? Yes? Because I have... Yes. Her. Alicia, because I have found this point special for the young people today, because I know some were coming. Okay, I always look at the audience. Oh, okay, and I'm speaking slowly. Today is Ekadashi. Ekadashi means fasting. Fasting from grains, and it is Varutini Ekadashi, but that is not Prabhupada's. It is not so important of fasting. Of course, we must fasting. For Prabhupada said, Ekadashi, the most important thing is absorption. Reading, more chanting, more hearing about Krishna. That's the meaning of this Ekadashi. Eh? So, Varuna Ekadashi. And what is that kind of Ekadashi? Yudhishthira, King Yudhishthira asked Krishna, tell me, what is this kind of Ekadashi? Briefly, very short. And Krishna says, whoever observes a complete fast on this sacred day, his sins completely removed, attains continuous happiness, and achieves all good fortune. That's the meaning of the. Okay, now we're going to the text. We are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam. If it's on the board, you can scan those three. The is the status quo. Chapter 25, entitled The Glories of Devotional Service, text 41. I'm going to read. You repeat, please. Nanyat Bhaga, is it on the board? Nanyatra mat bhagavataha. Nanyatra mat bhagavataha. Pradhana Purusesvarat. Pradhana Purusesvarat. Atmanha Sarva Bhutana. Atmana Sarva Bhutanam. Bhayam Tivram Nivartate. Bhayam Tivram Nivartate. One more time, then you can read here if I finish. Nanyatra mat bhagavata pradha. Oh, you want to do it now? One more time? Go ahead. Nanyatra mat bhagavata pradhana purusesvata varat atmana sarva bhutanam bhayam tivram nivartate. Mad Bhagavataha Pradhana Purusesvarat Atmanam Sarva Bhutanam Bhayam Nivartate. Nanyatra Mad Bhagavata Pradhana Purusesvarat Atmana Sarvanam Bhayam Tivram Nivartate. One of you ladies give it a try. Nanyatra Madhavataha Pradhana Purusesvarat Atmana Sarva Bhutana Tirvarnam Natate. Nanyatra Mad Bhagavataha Pradhana Purusesvarat Nasaram Bhayam Nitirvani Navartate. Okay, thank you. Even if you don't understand it, it's not so important. Of course, to understand it. But even if you don't understand it, in itself is powerful. It's the language of your world. So don't worry about if you pronounce it correct or not correct. The effort you make to speak, that will be rewarded. Okay, now I do no word. Na, not, anyatra, otherwise, much, than myself. Bhagavataha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purusa Isvarat, the Lord of both Prakriti and Purusa. The Lord of both Prakriti and Purusa. Manaha, the soul. Sarvabhutanam, all living beings. Bhayam, You have to, if you can, just repeat what I say, unless it is not, it's difficult for you. Bhayam, fear. Tiram, terrible. Nivate is forsaken. Now, thank you. Now I read the translation slowly. The terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by one who resorts to any shelter or to. Here is speaking. For I am the Almighty Lord, personality of Godhead, the original source of all creation, and also the supreme soul of all souls. Krishna, as Kapila Deo, is speaking here, his wife Devahuti. I'm going to read it again, but I'm so slowly because otherwise the purport is very long. Okay, the terrible fear of, I will explain it, okay? That's what I'm, let me read. The terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any shelter other than myself, the Lord. For I am the Almighty Lord, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the original source of all creation, and also the Supreme Soul of all souls. Here is the Lord Himself speaking. Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila. It is long, and for those who don't follow it, please remain silent. It is, even if you can't follow it, you are now in the most important process of devotional service. Okay, no, the most important, you are here sitting and hearing, even if you don't understand. Sometimes you see Indian ladies, when give class of others, then Indian Matajis are sitting there and they don't do anything, but the vibration of the spiritual knowledge is so powerful. It purifies you. Only the vibration. So I'm going to read a purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Swami Srila Prabhupada. It's very long. Okay. It's indicated herein that the cycle of birth and death can be stopped unless one is a pure devotee of the Supreme Lord. It is said, Harim Vinanasritam Taranti. One cannot surpass the circle of birth and death. One is favored by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The same concept is confirmed herewith. One may take to the system of understanding the absolute truth by one's own imperfect sensory speculation, or one may realize the self by the mystic yoga process. Whatever one may do, to the point of surrendering to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, no process can give him liberation. One may ask if this means that those who are going so much penance and austerity by strictly following the rules and regulations are endeavoring in vain. The answer is given by Srimad Bhagavatam 10, Canto 10, Chapter 2, verse 32. Yeni ravindiksha vimukta maninaha. Lord Brahma and other demigods prayed to Lord when Krishna was in the womb of Devaki. My dear lotus-eyed Lord, there are persons who are puffed up with the thought that they have become liberated or one with God, or they have become God. But in spite of thinking such a puffed up way, their intelligence is not laudable. They are less intelligent. It is stated that their intelligence, whether high or low, is not even purified. In purified intelligence, a living entity cannot think otherwise than to surrender. But Gita therefore confirms that purified intelligence arises in the person of a very wise man. Bahun manam ante jnanavan prapadyate. After many, many births, one is actually advanced in intelligence unto the Supreme Lord. Without the surrendering process, one cannot achieve liberation. The Bhagavatam says, those who are really puffed up, thinking themselves liberated by some non-devotional process, are not polished or clear in intelligence, for they have not yet surrendered unto you. In spite of executing all kinds of austerities or even arriving at the brink of spiritual realization in Brahma realization, they think that they are in the effulgence of Brahma, but actually, because they have no transcendental activities, they fall down to material activities. One should not be satisfied simply with knowing that one is Brahman. He must engage himself in the service of the Supreme Brahman. That is the engagements of Brahman should be the service of Para-Brahman. It is said that unless one becomes Brahman, one cannot serve Brahman. The Supreme Brahman, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the living entity is also Brahman. Without is Brahman, spirit soul, an eternal servitor of the Lord. If one simply thinks that is Brahman, his realization is only theoretical. He has to realize and at the same time engage himself in the devotion of the Lord. Then he can exist in the Brahman status. Otherwise, he falls down. The Bhagavatam says that because non-devotees neglect the transcendental loving service of the lotus feet of the personality of Godhead, their intelligence is not sufficient, and therefore these persons fall down. The living entity must have activity. If he doesn't engage in the activity of transcendental service, he must fall down to material. As soon as he falls down to material activity, there is no cycle of birth and death. It is stated here by Lord Kapila, without my mercy, na yatra mat bhagavataha. The Lord is stated here to be Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, indicated that he is full of all opulences and therefore perfectly competent to deliver one from the cycle of birth and death. He's also called Pradhana because he's the supreme. He's equal to everyone. One who surrenders to him, he is especially favorable. It is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita, the Lord is equal to everyone. No one is his enemy and no one is his friend. But to one who surrenders unto him, he is especially inclined. By the grace of the Lord, simply by surrendering unto him, one can get out of the cycle of birth and death. Otherwise, one may go in many, many lives and may many times attempt other processes for liberation. That's quite something, but I will explain. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jananana Salakaya Chakshuran Milena Tasmai Shri Gurudeva Namah Vanchakalpatarubhisya Kripa Sindhubhyeva Cha Chitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnava Namo Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasa Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So, in this verse, we have a lot of very nice elements. Here, as I said, Kapila, Lord Kapila Deva, who is no other than Krishna himself, who incarnated as Lord Kapila, he speaks to his mother Devahuti. She's curious, very curious about how to come close to God, how to surrender. What is devotional service? My son, my dear son, tell me, how can I come closer to the Lord? Okay? So that's the question here. Then in the translation, I will read it again. I will speak slowly, Julia. Then you. The translation again is, the terrible fear of birth and death can never be forsaken by anyone who resorts to any shelter other than myself. For Almighty Lord, I'm the Supreme Personality of God, the original source of all creation, and also the supreme soul of all souls. So here we see that it stated that the terrible fear of birth and death. So this terrible fear is something. It says that the terrible fear of birth cannot stop us living entities from repeating birth and death, the cycle of being born and die. We have fear. We have fear for, and this fear, it's something that a lot of people have. Also devotees, they have a lot of fear, you know. We are nervous. We are not secure of things. We have fear for death. We have fear for, am I going to get married? Will I have a salary? Will I have a job? So many things we are fearful for. And why? Because we don't know what the future will bring us. And that makes us so insecure, not confident, because we don't know what even the present and the future bring us. And the bad things is to know it. Why? Because we want to control it. That's the point. And that's where it goes wrong. We want to control it. And that's the bad thing, because trying to control things. If you have this tendency, then of course you will have fear, because you don't know what will happen. Yeah, we devotees have to be aware that it's God who is in charge of everything. It's not we. Of course, we can control a little bit. We can make plans, but the ultimate controller is Krishna. Everything is Krishna's hand. There's a nice saying, not a blade of grass without the sanction of the Lord. See, everything, nice or not nice, Krishna's hands. He's the ultimate controller. You can control a little bit. Jai Shri Prahlad Lakshmi Narasimha Bhagwan ki Jai Shri Gaunita. So we can't control. Krishna is the controller. Ishvara Parama Krishna Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarvakaranam Karana. That is the verse from the Brahma Samhita. And where it says that Krishna is the ultimate controller. Yes? So a devotee must have peace in the heart. That's why you are a devotee. And this peace, important point, there is a special verse in the Bhagavad Gita, and it's called the peace formula. And that is the Bhagavad Gita, verse 5:29. Formula. I read it for you. A person full consciousness, and I will translate to you. A person in consciousness, knowing me, Krishna, to be the ultimately beneficiary of all sacrifices and austerities, knowing me to be the supreme Lord of all planets and demigods, and me to be the benefactor and the well-wisher of living entities. If you know all this, peace from the pangs of material. What is stated here is, we devotees, we have to be aware, we have to be fully conscious, as Srila Prabhupada explains. We have to be aware that everything comes from Krishna. Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Everything belongs to him. We have to know that Krishna is our person. He is our most loving, well-wisher and best friend. And if we have this knowledge that he is our best friend, he always wants the best for us. Even if bad things, if he wants to give you bad things, you have to be happy. Because everything what Krishna is doing is for your own best will. He is ever best friend. And if you do this, then you become peaceful. And then you will have no fear anymore. That is why this peace formula is very important. Even if things doesn't go as you like, you serve Krishna constantly, sincerely. That's all you have to do. The result is his. Okay? No anxiety. So, this verse is about, as I said, birth and death. In general, I said, we have fear, so many things. Don't focus on fear. Better is try to cultivate a relationship with Krishna. Put your energy in cultivating a relationship with Krishna and develop a strong faith that everything is in Krishna's hands. Yeah? And that is surrender to Krishna. That is, and you do this by devotional service. I'll explain this later. It is like a child. A child under the protection of parents feels calm and peaceful, okay? So we also have to feel peaceful because we are under the protection of the Lord, of the spiritual Father. No reason for fear and anxiety. So what is this surrender? I said we have to surrender. That means we have our focus only on our relationship with Krishna, not with things. If you focus on Krishna, only your relationship, he will take care of the rest. He will take care of all the other relationships. It's like a tree. The tree has roots, and the tree has branches and leaves. So, if you water the roots, water is give love. You can water the roots, give love to the roots, but you can say, okay, the leaves and branches, those are your relationships. Your father, your brother, your dog, your husband, your job, your how do you say, your the job, the leader of the boss, the boss of your job. All these are the branches and the leaves. You can give them a little bit love. It is never full, and they will never get satisfied, and it is not endless. They all will die or misery. So, but if you focus your love on God, then automatically this love, Krishna will distribute it to your cat and dog and your boss and your friends and everybody. You know, and this love is transcendentally eternal. That is surrender. Focus on serving the Lord. Yes? You do your best and Krishna the rest. Yes? That's what you have to know. So, what is surrender principle? I go fast. If you want to know that it is described as the essence of the whole Bhagavatam. Not karma yoga, jnana yoga, and this and that, but yoga, bhakti yoga, devotional service to the Lord. And it is, the essence lies in 2 verses in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 18, verses 65 and 66. 65. Manmana bhava mad bhakto mat yadi mam namaskuro mam evashashim satyam te pratijana priyoseme. This verse mean? It is how we can come closer to Krishna, how we surrender. That is described here. And how the verse says, always Krishna says, Arjuna, listen, you want to come to me, you closer to me, always think of me. Become my devotee. Actually, Arjuna was already devotee. It's for us. Krishna speaks to us through Arjuna. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me, pay your obeisance to me. If you do these things, then what happens? Then you will come to me without fail. You will come definitely. I promise you. So this verse is very important. In this, Krishna made a promise to us. So if we think about him, if we worship him, if we become his devotee, we will come to him. This I promise. How amazing is this? And then the next verse is 1866. Yes, that is the Sarva dharma parijaya mam ekam saranam raja mam sarva papabhyo mokshami shami ma suche. This verse means, and this verse describes what this surrender is. The translation, abandon all varieties of religion. Just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. How Krishna here is telling us, don't have fear, please. But you have to for it. Abandon all your religions. Give up all your religions. No jnana yoga, no karma yoga, no yajnas, no sacrifices, no demigods, no tantras and mantras. Give it up. Worship even rascals, the president or this god and that. Stop with that. Only surrender unto me. That's what Krishna says. And if you do that, what will happen? I shall deliver you from all these sins you have performed, and the karma, I will take them away. Do not fear. Because fear, Rupa Goswami says, this fear, it comes from our sins. We have done so many sins in previous life and in this life that we have fear. Are we, it is created from somewhere. So here, Krishna says, by doing devotional service, bhakti yoga, you will come to me. So that is the surrender principle. So this principle of surrender is in the Bhagavad Gita, but a lot of people didn't understand it. What is this? How they thought, how can I become devotee? How do I have to behave? How do I have to worship the Lord? How I believe in demigods. I believe in the president as the Lord. How can I give this up? So it was very difficult for people to apply it in their daily life. This surrender sounds very high. And that's why Lord Chaitanya appeared. Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years ago, approximately, as a devotee to teach us by him, except he came as us. By example, what this surrender is, how to connect Krishna Prema, practical application, and he brought us the. He said the only way to come to Krishna in the age of Kali, that means in the age of quarrel, is devotional service. No mantra, no demigod, no nonsense things. No, it's not nonsense things, but you understand what I mean. Only the devotional service is the only way. And Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Gita 10, verse 8, he explains, Krishna says, I'm the source of all spiritual and material worlds. Everything emanates from me. The wise man, the wise intelligence, who perfectly know this, engage in devotional service and worship me with all their hearts. They do service for the Lord, service through the devotees. You do service for the devotees. Krishna likes it more. You serve Krishna, you can stand the whole day at the altar, but Krishna likes much more if you serve Damayanti. Alicia serves Julia. Like we have to serve the devotees of Krishna, his children. It pleases Krishna much more. We cannot connect to Krishna. We are too far from that. Only through spiritual master. But by serving the devotees, Krishna gets pleased. And Krishna says, perfectly know this, engage in my service, worship me with all their hearts. You have to have loving relationship. That it means with all your hearts, loving. Krishna wants loving relationships. Now, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought us this. He said this surrender means Lord. That's it. Devotional service. He emphasizes this point of devotional service, how important it is. The most important, the whole essence of Krishna consciousness is serving others in loving relationships. Here he repeats it in the Sixastakam. In the morning, we do one verse. In verse 4, I do only the translation. Lord Chaitanya, the Sixastakam are 8 instructions which Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gave us. Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. He came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, but he didn't write books. Rupa, Sanatana, the Goswamis were writing for him. He gave only 8 instructions, and that is called 8 Sastaka. Yeah? And the important one here is, he said, "O Almighty Lord," Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I have no desire to accumulate land. I don't want beautiful women. Don't want followers like Facebook and LinkedIn. How many followers? No, I don't want these things. I only want your service, bird after bird." Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu teaches us devotee that we have to long and to aim only for service, bird after bird. It doesn't matter in which planet we are, even if we are in hell, it doesn't matter. Krishna, if you please, let me remain your servant. Why? Why is this so important? So, in the Krishna Leela, you see this surrender principle. In Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's time, Leela, this devotional service is important because we are by nature servants. That is our original constitution position. We are by nature servants of the Lord. So what we are doing here to do service is we regain this position back, which we originally are. We are servants. In a humble way, the mood is also important if you serve. Humble, respectful, with tolerant, no false prestige. This mood, if you serve in this, then you see how your life will become perfectful. Now, I go fast. If I speak, so this is devotional service. After devotees, loving relationships, there are 9 ways. And now you say, okay, what is this service? What do I have to do? Now, so there are 9 processes of devotional service. Important one you're doing right now. Listening, hearing Krishna, about Krishna's pastimes, about Krishna's paraphernalia, about Krishna's name, transcendental hearing. That is the most important. The example is given of Maharaj Parikshit. He knew he was dying. He was cursed. Only 7 days to live. He could eat a lot of sweets, only 7 days, because I'm going to die, laddus, rasgulla, and okay. No. What he did is 7 days, he listened the Bhagavatam. He was hearing. Only this hearing was enough to Godhead. You see here, to deliver him. So the second one, important, to chant, to sing about the Lord's glory. Chanting, singing, kirtan. That is the kirtanam. The Deva Goswami. He spoke 7 days on the Bhagavatam to Maharaj Parikshit. He also got delivered. Went back to Krishna. The third one is to remember Krishna always, even if you have. And the example is given of, who knows? Krishna always. This young boy Prahlad, 5 years old, his daddy wanted to kill him. His father wanted to kill him, Hiranyakashipu. Why? Because he didn't worship his father. His father was a demon. He said, I'm God. No, he said, you're not God. I cannot worship you. I worship Vishnu. Oh, then I have to kill you because this is nonsense. Okay? And this is so many attempts his father made to kill him. But still, he always remembered Krishna every second. The fourth one is Parasevanam, serving the Lord his lotus feet. There's Lakshmi, massaging Lakshmi on the chest of Lord Nrsimha, massaging the lotus feet of the Lord. That's another. Another is deity worship, so devotional service. Worship the Lord, and the example Archanam is Maharaj Prithu. You have to read this. Prithu, he gave all his opulences to for the devotion of the Lord. All his opulences he gave away. The sixth type of devotional service is praying. You can pray to the Lord. That's Vandanam. The example. When Akura went to Vrindavan to meet Krishna, he was constantly praying. And because of that praying, he went back to God. 7 is Dasyam, being a servant of the Lord, serving. Hanuman is the example. The Leela of Lord Ram. Hanuman was serving the Lord 24 hours a day. There were so many problems. It's also, and you have it's also a way of serving the Lord. Sakyam, friendship. Arjuna was Krishna's friend. Krishna become my chariot driver. So friend one is complete surrender. Atvani Devam. Very difficult, but example is Bali Maharaj. Bali Maharaj, everything to the Lord, all his possessions, his whole kingdom, and even his whole body. That's full surrender. So these are the ways to surrender. Now it is a little bit difficult maybe to understand, but to put it practical, if you clean the temple and you make garlands and you are cooking or cutting vegetables, that's devotional service because you're doing it for the Lord. It's connected to the Lord. If you don't do it for the Lord, like maybe you have friends who are not devotees, they cut vegetables and they clean, there's difference. They do it for their own pleasure. But when you do it for the Lord, you do it for Krishna's pleasure. So that same activity becomes transcendental. And that is purifying. You see? So service for the Lord, everything you keep the floor, you do it for the Lord, not for your own pleasure. If for the pleasure of the Lord, that is purifying. That's why devotional service is so important. So if we speak of the devotional service, then it's nice to do this shortly. What is the character of devotional service? You can read of devotion. Rupa Goswami wrote this, Bhakti Sindhu. But the character is, if you want to explain what is this exactly, then 6 things. I go very fast. Service, that you do something for Krishna. Service for Krishna, it will immediately take off all it relieves you all sins. You noticed when you are making garlands, do you think of problem? So when we are chanting every morning doing deities, are you thinking of problems? It takes when you are then on the transcendental platform. So no sins, no problems, it relieves you. And the other one is immediate. And the other one, the second one is, the auspiciousness starts there. Auspiciousness means, what is good, how can you your good fortune will start with doing devotional service. Yes. Third one is, when you do devotional service, you derive pleasure. Not the pleasure in the material world. Sense that is pleasure with this 2 minutes and 2 minutes and 58 minutes you are depressed. You have the transcendental. You get transcendental pleasure, and that is lasting pleasure. That's the third thing. And the other thing you have to know about devotional service: it is rarely achieved. Doesn't mean it is rarely achieved. Not everybody gets the chance to serve the Lord. Not everybody. If you are fortunate that you have devotional service, because Krishna says in the Bhagavatam Sindhu, I don't give this to I don't give devotion to everybody. It is not that cheap, because if he gave it only to some persons due to pious activities in previous life, but it is not cheap. You can grab it. He gives it to you because Krishna says, I'm even afraid. I better give them liberation. I will and devotional service, because if I give them this service, they will conquer me. I will fall in love with them. They will conquer me. Then I will do everything for them, and I become their. And this happened. You see, with Arjuna, Krishna is the Lord, but he was driving. He became Arjuna's chariot driver. Krishna was serving Arjuna because Arjuna is his best friend, dear friend. Mother Yashoda in the Lord Damodar Leela, Krishna is caught by her love. He's crying like a baby, totally conquered by her love. So when Krishna gives devotional service, it be that he will be caught by his devotee. That is why he did it simply to everybody. Those who get it are very fortunate. So, why is it so important? Now I go fast. I have a few minutes. I go to the text now. I explain this devotional service to go to the text. Why is it so important to do? In the purport it says, do devotional service, then no repeat that. The cycle is stopped. That's why we do it. It enables you, then you go back to Godhead. That's the reason why we do devotional service, to purify our heart, that if we are purified, we can go back to the Lord, not in our material consciousness, And another reason why we do devotional service is we must do it. We must act. Devotional service is action. And we must act because the soul is by nature active. The soul is not passive. It's by nature active. We must have activities. Otherwise, we will get crazy. Action. So, you can have material activities, or you can do devotional service, transcendental activities. If you do material activities that you are not connecting to the Lord, like the non-devotees, then they get entangled and they will come back every time. But that because they don't connect the activities to the Lord. But we devotees, we do transcendental activities. We do the same activity, but we offer to Krishna. A simple example, okay? You have a laptop, okay? You can sit like a non-devotee in front of the laptop and watch all this hip-hop music and all these rock and roll things and and all these movings, kissing, loving, and this is a pretty world and a pretty good, all these things you can watch. Material activity, okay? The laptop is a material thing, so you will down, you will come back, repeated birth and death. You will not get pure. It's the same laptop, if you have it, there's no problem. There's no problem with the material things. You don't have to throw them away. In Krishna's service. So this laptop now, you go, I heard of Bhakti Charan Swami. He made this famous movie, Abhay Charan. I'm going to watch. Mahabharat. Listen, Krishna Shitra gave a nice lecture. I'm going to listen to lecture. So the same material thing. Now you sit to Krishna, you link it to Krishna, it purifies. That activity material becomes transcendental. You see, this is what bhakti is about, yeah? And what happened then, if we do transcendental activities, what happened? Krishna is so pleased. It's a favorable activity, and that produces mercy. There comes the mercy, yeah? So now I'm going to skip some things in the text. So in the text, the word liberation is sometimes mentioned. We don't want liberation. We don't want, who knows what liberation is? Devotees never ask for liberation. Or jnanis and bhakti yogis and all the yogis, liberation. But we don't aim for this. Liberations mean that we are ruled by the modes of nature. You understand? We have 3 modes of nature: passion, ignorance, and goodness. We all have it. You do something in goodness, because you don't know it, ignorance. Something in passion, much energy, and you use it in the wrong way. So liberation means that you are above these modes. You are above, you are liberated. You are not entangled more to the material nature. You cannot be caught by the material nature anymore. But we don't aim for that. Because if you are liberated and you are above, you still can fall down. As long as you're not connected to Krishna in devotional service, you can fall down. And it happened yogis who were meditating thousands, but they fall down easily. And the example are Vishwamitra. The yogi was meditating for 1,000 years with his closed eyes. But at a certain moment, he heard ankle bells. And then Menuka came with her ankle bells, and the eyes opened, 2 eyes. He saw her, and he was lost. He was by the beauty of this woman. So, what I try to say is, Prabhupada said, it's only by service to the Lord that you can be, free from material entanglement. You will not fall down anymore. Yes? Okay? And otherwise, you can do a lot, and you can do in goodness even. Even goodness, say, okay, but I'm in goodness, I'm doing everything. Yes, but even goodness is one of the modes of the material nature. Even goodness, you are still entangled to the material nature. Goodness, because you have also desires. They're good desires, but you have them. They're selfish for your own pleasure. That's why goodness is also not or a. Okay, now I come to the conclusion. The conclusion is that when here from Prabhupada says, if you don't surrender to the Lord, and you want liberation, then you get puffed. Liberation means you get puffed up. You think you're the Lord, live together with the Lord, and these people are not intelligent. What we want, devotees, is want to serve dental activities to the Lord, because we do this for the Lord's pleasure. Yes? And because we do it for the Lord's pleasure, we don't have to have fear for repeated birth and death. That's what he states here. No fear anymore, because we're pleasing the Lord, and the Lord is so pleased and so much mercy that he takes away your fear. Yes? Then the last thing here in the purport which is mentioned is the Lord says he is equal to everyone. Important point. Sometimes people in the world, like I have family members who are not devotees, and they say the Lord is Father, okay, but he is not equal. He's equal to us. He's not equal. He is treating the devotees better. Now, Prabhupada said, and the Lord is equal. The Lord is equal to everyone. And I read here from the verse, at the purport, the Lord is also called Pradhana, because he is the supreme. He's equal to everyone. But the one who surrenders to him is especially favorable. In the Bhagavatam, we also read, Krishna says, I'm equal to everyone. No one is me and no one is my friend. But who surrenders to me, I'm especially inclined. It doesn't mean that the Lord is not equal. Everybody has a choice. You can choose. You can choose for, I choose for Krishna. I choose, or you can choose for Maya. That is Krishna's. Krishna would stretch you down. That is Maya. A lot of sense gratification. That's Maya. But it's energy. So it's your own choice. The non for Maya, because they want to please themselves, their own senses. I want to enjoy iPhone, iPad, I and I. It's about me. Now, if you think about that, and everything for Maya, this I and mine is Maya. For it, most people choose for their own. I do it because I like it. I think and I'm better. That's Maya. Yes? Choose. Then you will drag you down and you come back every time. Repeat that and birth and that. But we devotees, that's why equal. Krishna is equal. Krishna says, you may choose. I don't put a gun on you and say, you have to choose from me. Use your free will. But the one who chooses Krishna, Krishna says, I am more to this person. I have more feeling for this person. Is that unequal? No. It's like a father. A father has two sons, okay? One son never takes care of his father. He's bad. You cannot handle him. And the other son said, Papi, can I bring tea for you? It's so caring. Shall I help you, Daddy? Oh, can you explain to me? I don't understand. Then naturally the father will get more attached to that son, isn't it? So it is natural. So Krishna is equal to everyone. But the one who surrenders to him, the one who says, Lord, I want to connect everything with you, he will give more attention. Thank you. And by this, thank you for listening to the class. It was smart if they have to go and rent. I end here, and the conclusion I already said. Here, Kapil is glorifying devotional service. He is explaining his mother Devahuti, how glorious devotional service is, how it frees us from fear and anxiety, how it changes us, how it brings us back to Krishna, and do we get mercy? Not only get mercy from Krishna, what do you think about the parampara, the acharyas, the Goswamis? All this mercy come to us, and then this abode become closer. Okay, are there questions, comments? Yeah, of yes. Here. Yeah. Good. Oh yeah. Okay. Here. Shravani. What's your name? Oh, Shravi.
Yeah, so while explaining the purport, you were telling that God chooses his devotees. Not everybody gets to, serve him because of various reasons. I really wanted some more enlightenment on that.
Yes, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Because it can be misunderstood.
Yes.
No, it's good that you are. It is not like God is choosing, I want him, and no. Not like that. Because you brought this process of devotional service, the Hare Krishna chanting, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, for everybody. It is available for every without any discrimination. So it's good you otherwise it will be misunderstood. Even the most so everybody, whether they are educated or not qualified or not, it doesn't matter. There is no qualification acquired. The mercy is available for everybody. But when I bhakti, a devotional service, is not easy to attain. That is what I mean. It is not like everybody, how do you say, has this. Krishna will engage somebody in his service. So the mercy is for everybody. He will give you this service if you're sincerely desiring it and is sincerely desiring to elevate, to become a good devotee. And he sees by your actions, by your chanting, by your efforts, by all your attempts, that you really want to come close to him, then he will throw this mercy on your path in the form of services. But because it is available for everybody, but if some people don't care for it, they don't want to grab it, they don't want to see non-devotees, they maybe don't even believe there's a God, going to throw it on their path. No. Everybody, the mercy and devotional service, it is available for everybody. Maha Mantra is for everybody, without any discrimination. The nice thing about Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, freely, for nothing, come, your marketplace, here, take. So it's freely available, yes? But you have to do something for it. You have to sincerely desire, honestly desire, make a lot and efforts. And Krishna sees this person is so eager to come to me. And then it comes on your path. Here rewards, yes? Yes.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Gita Govinda Mata. That was a very wonderful class with a huge purport, and you went through so many different points to express different parts raised in it. Thank you. It was very nice, Jay. So, wanted to raise, I won't say anything against, but a small doubt, if it's okay. So, as some of you know, and it's because we have a few older anyhow, yes. So I've lived here over 10 years now, and then you see on a daily basis the devotees who come and also the ones who leave. It's very nice when they leave to take on this practice outside in their outside life. But we also see those who come, serve, and something has not quite reached deep enough, or something, I'm just saying, because we raised this point about devotional service, and sometimes the question comes up, what is devotional service? Also as practicing devotees, what is it that happened when these people served, but then left somehow in frustration? So, sorry, because you're a senior devotee, I wanted to ask your views on this.
Thank you so much. Very good question. Devotees come and go to temples. They get, you think they're happy, and you think you're happy, they like it, and everything goes smoothly. And it's a worldwide problem you see in all the temples. They go, and you think, why did they go? Yes, actually, but it actually very in for something which Radhana, His Holy Swami introduced, this is devotee care. And there are many ways of devotee care, but it would be nice, somehow or other I did this. It is very nice if you, not weekly, but sometimes with each devotee, that you have a meeting with him. That is a meeting to say, okay, do you like it? Are there things which bother you? Are there obstacles? So it is a kind of caring. So if you involve them in the service, it's nice. That's where they come from. But it's also to inquire about how their experience. And then you go deeper and deeper, and then in that way there is a kind of relationship of trust is developed, and if we can open your heart, and in that way I'm convinced that you can get a lot of devotees just going, because you see what these days often happen is there is no time for these personal communications. But if you introduce it as part of devotee care in your temple where you are, then, because later if you, I give us an example, but I will not mention the temple. important. But there was this guy, and he was always pots and the pans. But then, well, he did it, and then every day he had to do it, every day the same thing. But at a certain moment, it became for him, and he thought, why do I have to do it every day? Cannot I do something else? And at a certain moment, he left, and I met her, and he said, I also want to go to the programs, and I also want to do this and that, and it is having some change in my service. So I think newcomers, especially, we have to develop a relationship with them. This giving, taking and giving, and now they feel like they service and nobody takes care of them. Even some of them have personal problems or problems with the family. The fact that you inquiring, it gives them the feeling that this temple cares for me, not only for my service, but me as a person. Hurt, these are my friends, but I cannot speak to them. So you have to develop relationships with it. Trust will be developed, and then you can make changes. Come on, I like this, but can I do tomorrow this, or can I do next week something else for the variety? Devotees are shy. For many devotees are shy, and a lot of devotees don't want to express that they don't like a service or it is too much for them. So the thing they do is they just leave. They just leave. But if you have a relationship of trust and open your heart, you are, for me, not only you're a servant, but also you're a friend of mine. Then this can help to just the Rukmini Mataji, the Prabhupada's disciple, said something very nice. She gave amazing class, but I remember this class when I was in Mayapur, and she said a girl is somebody who can keep anyone on the plate. Everyone on the plate, and that impressed me so much. I will not say leaders are not good. Everyone on the plate means somebody is about to leave, you make sure that he stays on the plate. Yes, and if they leave, you have to remain nice to them, otherwise they never come back. If they leave, sometimes devote, and then they have done something which was favorable, or then they leave. But if you treat this person as somebody who has done wrong things or not nice, this person is lost out of Krishna consciousness. And if there's one thing what can let Prabhupada cry is if devotees go. We have to try, we have to be responsible to pull them back. That's responsibility. You see, I hope it's answered a little bit. Yeah. Thank you. Yes, dear.
I have a question, but I have enough level English. Yes. I help Julia. I want to ask about I born in a woman body. In woman body. Yes. And I have my my dharma, yes, like a woman, born children, and find a husband, yes, and I.
So dharma of woman, it's very important to marry, have a husband, have kids, and it's actually natural for us. like it's because we have this body, and because of that we have desires, and it's also natural for us. And actually, have a husband, it's our desire, but it's our dharma also, right? But in another way, what we listen, it's to say, be free from desire. If you want to come back to me, we should first of all our heart be free from desires, and it's looking like totally opposite. And also in our body we cannot be absolutely free from desire. So it's her question, it's when this time should come, like from beginning, or when we in or we have to be monk from beginning, or seriously. Yeah, thank you. You understand?
Okay, very good question. So this Mataji is asking, we have desires, we are women and we have a lot of desires, we have children and we have a family. And now we have to get free of these desires. Quite something. No, it's not of desires, not at all. Also, Krishna has desires. We are his children. But Prabhupada said, he mentions dovetail. Connect these desires to Krishna. It is plus Krishna. It's just like a job. Prabhupada never said, leave the job. Arjuna said, go to the forest, come on, I'm not going to fight. I sit still and meditate and do nothing. I cannot kill my relatives. I go in the forest, okay? No. Krishna says, no, you can't. You can't. You have to work. Triya, you must work. Yes, and you have to take care. Those are your duties. Now the desires. So you don't feel everything in Krishna consciousness. You're connected to. You may have desires, but you have to connect him to Krishna. Like Krishna marriage. I would like to have children. I'm so much desire to have children. There's nothing wrong with that desire. But you connect it to Krishna. Then the prayer is not, Krishna, I want children, but can I get some water? Wow. Okay, sorry, had gebracht. Sorry, Mataji, vielen Dank. Ich benutze es. The desires, you may have them. Nothing wrong with desires, but it's how you use your desires. You connect with Krishna. Children, Krishna. You can pray. You're not a devotee. Krishna, I have a job. Can I have money? Can I have children? Kind of prayer. Krishna is not that cheap. A devotee prays in another. Krishna, I'm a woman. I'm married, and I would like to have. But Krishna, and please, Krishna, if you desire, can you give me children? And now it comes. Make the connection. And these children, Krishna, I will raise them up in Krishna consciousness. I will make devotees of them. I will read Bhagavatam with them. I will learn to chant. Then this desire is now connected to Krishna. So it's a desire. So you may have even a car, real things. Dhruva Maharaj wanted a kingdom. But when he saw Krishna, Vishnu, he didn't want it. But you may have even material desires, but they have to be connected to something. Krishna, I need a car. Yeah, when you ask for a car, I said, okay. I'm these days, I'm going to the temple and I'm doing for the temple, but I have a bicycle. So I really would like to do the shoppings every Saturday, go to the market, do the shoppings, but I need a car to do this. And sometimes devotees ask me that I can drive the devotees to the temple. So you use the car, Krishna. So desires you may have, but you have to connect it in Krishna's service. Then these desires are transcendental, spiritualized. out all these desires. Connect him to Krishna. Yes? Always at him. That is Krishna. It's the same is with desires, and it's also with, what is the other one? Desires? Senses. Senses. We don't have to get rid of our senses, like senses, enjoyment. No. But you use them for pleasure. You see? Your senses like, I like, you go to the market and you buy nice mangoes and all these things. When you're not a devotee, you buy it because you like it. You say, I'm going to buy this spinach and these carrots because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu loves it. You can use your senses, but for the enjoyment of Krishna, then it's okay, then it's fine. Okay? Automatically, exactly. Now, in the beginning, you know, Krishna consciousness is one sentence. One is a change in the mindset. Everything you say, you do, you act. Am I pleasing Krishna? That's it. First you will think, oh, I go to the market and I buy the things I like. That's not good. I have to buy the things he likes. You think about it. But later it becomes automatically. You go and see nice sari. You said, oh, Krishna, how beautiful. I will wear it next Mango Aarti. Whoa. That's different. Krishna's pleasure. You see? Plus Krishna. Yes? Krishna.
Hare Krishna, danke für die nice ja, ich habe so die Erfahrung gemacht, Krishna sitzt ja als Überseele. Du musst ja dann übersetzen.
You understand? You understand her German, no?
Ja, Krishna sitzt ja als Überseele in unserem Herzen und er kennt ja unsere Wünsche. Wir brauchen nicht immer zu betteln, Krishna, ich möchte dies und das. Er sagt ja in der Bhagavad Gita, so wie du dich mich in dem Maße belohne ich dich auch. Also. Und er kennt unsere Wünsche und wenn die Wünsche gut sind für uns und für ihn eigennützig, dann habe ich die Feststellung gemacht, erfüllt Krishna auch die Wünsche, obwohl man sich das gar nicht bewusst Krishna gewünscht hat. Aber dann kommen Situationen, dann ist auf einmal die Situation da, ach, Krishna ist aber schön, das habe ich oder so. Ja, aber Krishna weiß das und dann kommt es eines Tages und er erfüllt uns dann die Wünsche. Das ist, das finde ich so grandios, dass er das so macht, ohne dass man ihn bittet. Ja?
Okay. Aha. Oh God, just tile by tile. So, and also I really say summary, sorry. Sometimes we have wishes, but they're not, say, fully conscious, but they still a wish. And somehow she says that Krishna still fulfills them. It happened, you know, it's not even completely manifest, but Krishna still fulfills the wishes. So she just speaks about the wonder of that. Huh? Krishna erfüllt die Wünsche, ja? Ja, du weißt, welche aber.
Im Maße, wie du dich hingibst, erfülle ich die Wünsche so ungefähr.
So as much as you give to him, he fulfills your wishes, even if they're not completely so conscious. And auch that you don't even have to ask him. He somehow wishes. I want to just say, I want to say that especially in the holy Dham, like Himhachalam, sometimes your wishes, even bad ones, sometimes true, and it just so one has to be very careful.
Yes. The principle is a good job. The first, as one surrender unto me, I reward him accordingly. That's the first. She says her point is sometimes Krishna fulfills desires, wishes, and even if the desires are not conscious. Is that what she said? Yeah, but it depends on, you know what it means? As you surrender unto me, I reward accordingly. Actually, it means, to put it simple, if you how do you say, connect to Krishna for 40%, then he will give you back 40%. What we mostly do is we say, okay, I'm chanting, I'm doing, and I'm reading books, so many things, and Krishna is not giving it to me. You know, so many things. I ask Krishna things, and he doesn't give to me. It depends on, if you surrender to Krishna for 40%, he will give you the 40%, because it means that 60% you hold in your own pocket, hold back. You want to control that 60%. You say, Krishna, you a little bit, and the rest is for me. Can I have control over it? You don't come. No, I will not tell you what it is. This is what you may know, and then and not with that one. I keep for my